Look, it's City's 9th league defeat this season so far. And Pep was saying this week it wouldn't be a disaster if they didn't make the Champions League. Would it?
Yes, I think so. Given the squad they've got, given their recent history, given the fact that you would still make them among the favourites to win the title again next season, I think it would be a shock if they didn't make the Champions League. I don't think that will happen, though. I think they will. I think they will make the Champions League. I think they've still got what it takes to finish in that top 5. I can't see them carrying on losing games like, for example, yesterday.
I mean, listen, they're a side in transition. He's bringing down the average age, he's moving players out, he's bringing new players in, all of whom will be better for having had a few months in the Premier League this season. They've got the best striker in Europe for me in Haaland, still competing for Premier League. 20 goals this season. I think he's only the second player after Ruud van Nistelrooy to get 20 goals in 3 successive seasons in the Premier League. And they're going to get better. I mean, listen, it will hurt them. I think he's trying to take the pressure off the players. He said just I never blame my players. He's trying to take the pressure off. But I think that they will finish in the top 4. It will hurt them if they don't.
Let's talk about one player, because Jack Grealish was an unused substitute yesterday, and obviously he made the headlines this week for going out socially, putting £500 behind the bar in a North East pub. His form hasn't been great. Statistics show played the full 90 minutes twice in the Premier League season and hasn't scored. Is he going under the radar a little bit at the moment? And can you see why he might have gone out and did what he did? Pep didn't want to talk about it, obviously. What do you think with Grealish?
When Pep has talked about him, he's kind of supported him. He said, I think he can't, his latest comment is he can't live his life for him. He said that before about other players. He played the first half, or certainly a lot of the first half at home against Real Madrid in the Champions League, and seemed to worry Real Madrid. He played really well, got injured and came off. And in a way, I think Manchester City knew what they were getting. It made a few headlines for wrong reasons, particularly during COVID, when he went out to party during lockdown, crashed his car trying to get away the following morning, and there was a court case surrounding that. So I don't think Manchester City can be that surprised that he potentially does like to go out and have a bit of a party. But obviously, it does seem to be affecting his performances, with the exception of that.
Rashford, for example, when he goes out, it makes big headlines.
Yeah. It is that, he is that kind of player, isn't he? That the paparazzi will be out looking for him, and there will be people who are ringing up news desks and saying he's out.
I think I've...
And of course, everyone's got a phone these days.
Well, listen, I would say this. You can't put the responsibility for what Grealish does on other people, I think, or on media or paparazzi. I think Grealish is the responsibility for what all of us do is on ourselves. And he's a fantastic player. And you're right to give this context by saying that there have been moments when he's been in a City shirt this season and he's been terrific, and all of us love him, and at his best he's one of the best players in the Premier League. But the numbers suggest that he hasn't been even the best player, anywhere near the best player in the City side. You've been highlighting it here on the station. 40 appearances, 2 goals, no assists, and he hasn't been anywhere near his level. Now, understandably, Guardiola protected him as he protects all of his players, because he is very, very loyal in that regard. But you wouldn't consider Grealish for England at the moment. You wouldn't consider him as a first teamer when Doku and Savinho and a number of other players are able to be far more effective in the side and contribute far more. And I think you are right. And sometimes we have to be real. If it was Rashford doing the kind of thing that we have seen Grealish doing, if we'd seen Rashford in those images stumbling down the road outside the pub, he would be destroyed. And I think that there is a double standard here in the way that we treat images like that. And I'm sure Rashford himself would look at that. I'm sure Grealish himself would be relieved he's not Rashford in a situation like that. But we are not being fair and even-handed if we don't articulate the state of play. And I think as far as Jack is concerned, at his best, as I said before, he's an absolutely outstanding talent. He will want to get back into the thinking of Thomas Tuchel for England, with a squad being picked. But at the moment, you would suggest they are far more potent, consistent, just much more creative options for him. And it's about where Jack goes from here. Does he want to get back into the City side?
And it's a shame.
Does he want to get back into the England side? Yeah. It's all his responsibility.
It's a shame as well, because not only could he, is he a brilliant player, but he's a cheeky, chappy, nice bloke as well, isn't he? He's always friendly to fans. He'll sign autographs, he'll have pictures, and
he's loved as well. He's, I remember going to an event, and actually, as you guys know, I work in a news section of my newspaper as well as a sports section, and I remember going to a commercial event, and so many of the questions I was asked at that event were about Jack Grealish. He has a universal popularity. And a respect that he has earned because he is so down to earth. So I don't think there is a will to really take him down or anything like that. He's a super player, and we want to see him back where he was. It's always a shame when any player loses their way, and we just hope that he gets back to where he was sometimes.
Definitely,
OK.